Appreciate you, Evan, for doing this, and Nick, thank you for sharing with the community the behind the scenes with your business. So without further ado, I'm going to shut up. Evan and Nick, you guys take it over.
Cool, guys. Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see some familiar faces on here from last time and people that I've spoken to directly. So, honored to have you guys all here. And who's excited to get into some Google ads right now? Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys are ready to learn some stuff. Let's blow up this chat. And Nick, I'm actually going to unmute you too. Or sorry, ask you to unmute yourself.
Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. So I have your account pulled up just to get some kind of prior knowledge. Have you ever run Google ads before?
Never, ever.
Okay. Gotcha. Is anybody in here currently running Google ads? Raise your hands. Let's see. Gregorio, I think Alyssa and Taylor. I'm going to call on someone who I haven't spoke to. Raise your hand if you are running on Google ads. Okay, I'm going to call on Alyssa and Taylor. If you guys don't mind, can you unmute yourself and just give a little bit of a background on, your success, lack of success with it? What's kind of been going on with you guys?
We're not getting as many clicks as we want to. They switched over. I haven't done Google ads in a while and they switched some of their stuff over. So I'm still trying to figure out what to do. And then I'm having a problem setting up my, the conversions to it to what kind of item or something. I don't remember exactly what they call it, but trying to figure out how to keep track of those. I'm having an issue trying to figure out how to get that to work.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to be going over that conversion tracking. So that's good to know. Thank you. Jose asked, is Google ads the same as Google local services? No. So Google ads, also known as PPC, Google AdWords, which it used to be called, it's actually a different service than Google local services. All right, I'm going to call on one more person. Once again, if you don't mind, can you raise your hand if you are currently running Google ads? Okay, I see Renee Smith. I don't think we've spoken. Do you mind unmuting yourself and giving a little bit of some context on your situation?
So I've been experimenting with it, but I'm terrible with them. I used to do dialer campaigns and stuff at a job that I worked before I did this. So I'm familiar with setting up the campaign. I'm noticing that we're having just lower click rates or conversion rates on it. As far as people click on it, but they're not really going much further than that. So I'm sure it's something that I'm doing wrong.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yeah, hopefully the training tonight will shed some light on this for all of you guys, and you'll have some better understanding, even if you decide to outsource the service in the future. I think just having a fundamental understanding of how it works is going to help you guys with your results, not just with Google ads, but even some other marketing channels that you guys might venture into. But cool. Let's, I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk you guys through what Google ads is in the first place, if you guys are unfamiliar. So basically, if people are searching stuff like maid service, house cleaners near me, right? You have these ads that come up at the top over here. So you guys may be familiar with these. These are Google local service ads. And basically the way these work is someone only gets charged if a user were to call you or send you an inbound message, right? And you're kind of paying to be at the top of the page with the screen guaranteed check mark, right? But then if you go down one section lower, see these ads with the sponsored. These are Google ads, Google pay-per-click ads, whatever you want to call them. And that's what we're going to be covering tonight. Similar to local services, you only get charged if someone actually takes an action, but instead of a call, it's going to be if someone clicks on your link, right? So Google ads, what we're going to be covering, has more moving parts than local services because we're going to be talking about the proper keywords that you have to bid on. You have to make sure that the page you're sending your traffic to is optimized for conversions, right? Having your description filled out properly, having, great click-through rates. There's a lot more variables, and it's easy to burn through your money if you don't really know what's going on. So in a nutshell, Google Ads is really keyword based, right? Does that make sense to everybody? So we're bidding on keywords, and that's going to determine the likelihood. And, if you scroll down, actually, let me come back here. This is the organic map pack, and sometimes Google Ads can also appear in here. So these are the local services, but sometimes you'll also see a sponsored. On my screen, it's not going to show an example right now, but sometimes, on mobile, you might see sponsored posts in here as well. But there's different placements other than just the top of the page. But cool, let's get into it. And this scary spreadsheet is going to make sense in a second. But basically, I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. The way Google Ads work is, like I said, you're going to be bidding on keywords. And we want to make sure that we're bidding on the right keywords that are going to get the most searches and the most clicks. And there's essentially 3 different types of keyword types. There's broad match, phrase match, and exact match, right? So if I share my screen again, I already put together 3 different columns for these different match types. Broad match is just if you were bidding on, let's say, house cleaning, maid service, housekeeping, without any like quotes, brackets, anything like that. Phrase match is with quotations, and then exact match, as you can see, is with the brackets. Now, broad match, this is probably one of the most common mistakes that a lot of people make when they're running their Google Ads, is they're just basically bidding on broad match. In fact, with Renee, Alyssa and Taylor, if you guys have ever ran your own Google Ads, there's probably a good chance that you guys are bidding on specifically broad match and maybe not even phrase match and exact match. Is that the case? Raise your hand if that's true. Okay. So this is the problem. If there's one thing that you guys get away from this lesson is never bid on broad match keywords. Because here's the thing, when you're bidding on these keywords, Google has the right to basically show your ad to people for any searches that are related to these terms. So house cleaning might be one of your keywords, but your ad could also potentially come up if someone is searching for how to clean white shoes or car wash, right? Or carpet cleaning. Those terms have cleaning in them or are related to cleaning. And that gives Google enough, validation to be like, hey, we'll show your ad. It's close enough search, right? So when you add quotations, we're adding a little bit of limitation to it now. Now, if we're bidding on, let's say, housekeeping, this example, your ad is only going to pop up if housekeeping is specifically in the search term that someone is searching for. So if someone searches housekeeping Dallas, Texas, your ad will there's a good chance it will come up because we have this in quotations. Housekeeping is in that. Or if someone searches for best housekeeping near me, again, your ad could potentially come up because, again, you have this in quotations. But if someone searches for, let's say like house cleaning, for this keyword, you're not going to pop up, right? It has to be that exact keyword in the quotations. And exact match is pretty much that, even more strict. Now you're only going to pop up if it's exactly this. So going back to my example, if someone searches best housekeeping near me, well, you're not going to appear for this one because it's only what's in the brackets. Does that make sense to everybody? I know it can be a little bit confusing. Awesome. So what I did is I put together basically about 50 or so of the most common search terms with different, search intent phrases, either at the end of the keywords or in the beginning. So we have like the first cohort over here. Then the next cohort just basically adds near me at the end of them, right? And then if we go down one step further, now we're going to start adding the city that you guys service at the end of those, as well as the abbreviation, or I'm sorry, the state or city, whatever makes more sense based on your area. And then same thing in my area at the end. And these are basically like the most common search terms that people are just historically searching for cleaning services online. So the hard work's already done for you. All right. And then, same thing. We have this for the phrase match and then the exact match. And the reason why we separate these is because we're going to make separate ad groups for each of these match types. Right. And then as I set this up, it'll make more sense to why we separate them, but it's basically just to be as cost effective as possible. But before I move on any further, any questions? If you guys have a question, raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll just keep going. Going once. Oh, sorry. Was that you, Alyssa and Taylor? Did you raise your hand?
Yeah, just curious. So to be cost effective, is it better to start off to bid on like the middle ones or to go straight for like the strict keyword search?
Yeah, good question. So ideally, you're going to actually start with all of the above, meaning the phrase and the exact match. And over time, as you spend some budget, you're going to see which is actually getting you more conversions, which is getting you like cheaper leads. And then you can decide to, kill off the other ones and then just ramp up those ad groups that are winning for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So let's, I'm going to go into Nick's Google ad account right now. This is what the dashboard looks like, by the way, if you guys have been here. And your screen might look slightly different because there's actually multiple views for the Google ad platform. So basically you can click on tools and settings and it will say like switch to old view or something like that if yours looks different. But I just prefer, this interface. All right. So to create your campaign, you guys are going to click this button, new campaign. All right. We're going to select leads because that's what we're optimizing for pretty much all you guys. So you're going to want to do the same thing. We're going to hit next. All right. And then this gives you some different app options. These are just going to really dictate where your ad is shown. Like if you want to be on the right-hand bar of like certain websites, certain shopping platforms, video, that would be if you were doing like YouTube ads, for example. But you're going to want to hit search. All right. And then over here, this is where you're going to basically select which type of conversions we want to optimize for. So in most of your cases, it's going to be one for phone calls and form submissions. If you prefer to just do one or the other, you could just select one. But most likely it's going to be both. And then Nick, what's the number that you want leads to call?
208-820-6066.
Awesome. And then I'm just going to name this, we'll just name this Evan test. All right. Cool. So that's that. You're going to hit next, start new. Awesome. And then the first thing you're going to see is the bidding structure that you want to do. So I recommend for all of you guys to start with, it's going to give you conversions by default. I actually recommend that you guys start with clicks as your bidding. And then once you guys get, let's say 15, maybe 20 conversions or so, then it makes sense to switch over to maximize conversions. But if you start with bidding for conversions, you're kind of telling Google, you're assuming that they know what a conversion is. It's like the blind leading the blind type of thing. So start with clicks and then you can kind of dial down as your ad runs a little bit more. All right. Everything else looks fine though. We could just hit next. All right. Make sure you guys uncheck display network. If you don't, you have your ad appearing on different platforms, which are going to just drive up clicks, basically junk clicks. Search keeps everything kind of on the exact, part of the screen that you guys want to appear for. And then when you scroll down, now you're at the location. So this is where the targeting happens, right? So we're going to come down here, select enter another location. All of you guys are going to do this because, all of you guys have local businesses. And then this is where you can select either by certain cities or counties that you want to target, or if you prefer to do it by a radius. So Nick, what makes most sense in your case?
I'll just let you know about like the name of the towns, the counties, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Let's do it.
Rexburg.
Rexburg, Idaho.
Yep.
Cool.
Rigby. I'm putting them in the chat too. So.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Rigby, Idaho Falls. Oops. Awesome. And then was there one more?
Yeah,
sugar and okay. Oops. And then let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks accurate.
Yeah, that's the popular
Awesome.
area, so we're good for that. So
All right, awesome. So we got those locations set. And then this one, another thing, check presence. By default, this one is selected. But as you can see, it says people in regular Lynn or who have shown interest in your targeting locations, which we actually don't want, because that could be someone who lives in Florida who's maybe researching the area, right? So we only want to show people who are basically living or in there regularly. And then all of that, you could leave the same. We're going to hit next. All right. And then this is where the fun starts. So we're going to start with our first ad group. And the naming convention that I like to follow is basically match type followed by the specific type of keywords that we're going after. So if you type in phrase with the quotations to, just solidify that this is a phrase match, and then generic. And basically what this generic means is the way I've constructed this keyword list for you guys is the first half of this chart is generic cleaning terms, right? Like house cleaning, residential cleaning, maid service. These are like very commonly searched terms. If you go to the bottom half where basically the keywords change to blue, now we're going more after those one-time lucrative jobs like post-construction cleaning, move-in, move-outs. Some of you guys don't do these terms, which is fine. You can skip this part, but that's basically what I mean by generic, which is the top half. And then this bottom half would be considered specialty, or at least that's how, what makes sense for me. All right, so let's go back to our handy dandy little chart. We're going to copy this first half in the phrase match column. Go back here, paste those keywords, boom. They already have the quotations around, easy peasy, right? All right, and now we're going to scroll down, and then this is where we actually get to start building the ad. So what's really nice is Google gives you a view of what it looks like on mobile and desktop so far. And the main concept of this lesson, guys, is you want to take up as much real estate with your Google ad as possible. Put yourself in the shoes of a consumer. Most of the people in your guys' town are probably doing the bare minimum, just enough to get their ad by. Meaning, yeah, they might have a couple headlines in here, maybe their phone number, and that's it. We're going to talk about adding extensions, which basically just makes your ad bigger, makes more options for a client to call you, to contact you. And it's also going to help your click-through rates, which is really cool. But yeah, we'll get into that. Nick, so here's your funnels. Which one do you want to use for this?
The Idaho free home cleaning offer funnel.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Sweet. So let's copy and paste this link. Put that there. All right. And then display path. You can actually put whatever you want. So it's going to appear on the right hand up here next to your website. And it's just to help people clicking on your ad. So you can put like some type of convenience factor or like a unique selling prop here. So for example, what I've suggested for a lot of people is something like request a quote in 20 seconds. That's like a really easy and convenient thing. If you have your own slogan, you can put that there. I don't know. Do you have anything, Nick?
What, dude, I'm just here to learn from the master. What do you think would be best?
Okay. So let's
dude, I will do whatever you say.
Let's do this. Request a quote. Oops, can't type. 20 seconds. And then that's what appears on the right here. All right. And then for calls, this was your number, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So what we just added is a call extension. And now, someone can tap to call, and, it's very similar to like a Google Local Services, but you're just adding more real estate. With Google Local Services, yes, people have the button to call you or send you a message, but what they don't see is your landing page, your headlines, your description. This is just added space for you guys to kind of sell your company to a potential buyer, right? So now we're going to come to the headlines. And in addition to this little chart, we also have this Google checklist, which you guys will also have a copy to. And again, it kind of has a lot of this already filled out for you. So I tried to make this as copy and paste as possible for you, but these are some headlines that I've already seen have really good click-through rates and conversions. So the first one was professional house cleaning. Now this one, location, city in these brackets, this is really cool because watch this. I'm going to copy and paste this one into the headline. And then Google's going to actually automatically pick up on whatever location based on someone's IP address, which city they're living in, and populate it. It's kind of like AI. So that's a little trick you guys can do to increase your click-through rates. Let's keep going down this. Request a quote in 20 seconds, something like that. If you guys are using like ZenMaid or Booking Koala, and you have that on in your funnel, you could also put something like that, like online booking, or like get an instant quote. That will just kind of depend on your own sales process. For one of them, I recommend just actually inserting your actual company name. So in Nick's case, it's Excel Home Services, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then let's just add a couple more. And as you can see, like the combination of these headlines that we're doing, you want to make sure that you're putting in like some of these keywords in your headlines, but then you also want to make sure that you have some kind of like emotional based headlines, like we clean, you relax, family friendly cleaning service, 5-star cleaning service, like things like that, unique selling propositions, basically. Fall in love with your home. So we've already used house cleaning. We've used maid service. What's another keyword that we could potentially use in our headline? I'm going to call you on you, Nick.
Maid service, home cleaning. I don't know. A lot of people request like move out cleans and deep cleans and stuff. But
so that's an interesting point.
But we could just stick with the black and do a housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Yep. There you go. We don't have housekeeping yet. So we could definitely put that in there. So we could do something like, number one housekeeping in Idaho, right? And then boom, look at that. We've leveraged house cleaning, maid service, and housekeeping, 3 of the most commonly searched terms in the cleaning industry. And we have headlines for all of them. So you guys can go crazy and add a bunch of headlines. Basically how it works is Google's going to cycle through like different orders of these headlines for you. And you don't really have much control over that. But what you can do is you can test maybe just starting out with a couple headlines at a time and seeing, okay, my ad is getting good click-through rates. One of these headlines has to be working. And you can also pin certain headlines. So if we were to pin, let's say, Excel Home Services, now that one is always going to appear as one of the headlines. You're limited to basically 2 to 3 headlines at a time. There's no more space on the screen to show anymore. But if we pin one, that means no matter what, we're always going to have one of the 3 slots taken for whatever one we pin. Does that make sense? Right. So yeah, I'll just skip that through now. And then now the next part we're going to get to is description.
Hey, Evan, quick question for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you checked out my funnel or not, but it's a funnel for a free cleaning voucher, the thing that Logan teaches. Yep. Yeah, I just didn't know if you needed to know that for any headlines or keywords or anything like that. So
yeah, man, thanks for letting me know that. Excellent point. And we certainly
it's crushing right now. So
yeah, awesome.
I don't know if that changes anything you do. So
no, yeah, thanks for letting me know. So we actually have a couple options. We could put that as one of our headlines, or we can put it somewhere else on the ad, and I'm actually going to show you where. But yeah, we'll go back to that. The next thing we're going to go to is descriptions. So if we come back to this checklist, you have up to 4 descriptions that you can put, and I recommend putting all of them. And each of these different sentences is kind of tugging on a different emotional string. So for this one, we're talking about like highly vetted house cleaners serving a particular town or state or whatever. This one is more so social proof related. So like 5-star rated, dozens of reviews, hundreds of happy families, right? The next one is more so like a convenience headline. So online booking, get a free quotes, request a quote in 20 seconds, right? And then the last one is basically where you can plug in all of the main cleaning services that you want a service for, right? So if we're following that same thing, so highly vetted house cleaners proudly serving. What makes sense for your area, like the greater Idaho area?
I wish I had like a cool thing that just incorporates it all. I guess we could say Southeast Idaho.
Okay, that works. Sweet. All right, and then the next one, put that there. And by the way, guys, this, of course, if you're like a new company, you don't have like any online reviews, like maybe, this wouldn't make sense or this wouldn't make sense, but you could still, change it without being, without being like false information. So 5-star rated is generic. Like you could have 0 Google reviews and still put that you're a 5-star rated company, maybe based on just like verbal testimonials you've gotten, or if you have like 1 review on Yelp that's a 5 stars, it's only 1 review, but technically you are 5-star rated online, right? So you can just leverage like whatever you have going for you. And then the next one is the convenience one. So let's put that. And then the last one is going to be basically the different types of cleaning services. Do you provide all these, Nick?
Everything besides vacation rental cleaning.
Okay. Is there something else we can put there instead?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe put window cleaning.
Okay. Yeah, you guys could also put like post-construction cleaning there, or like commercial cleaning if you do that, something like that. Okay, cool. And then, like I said before, as we start to like really fill this ad up, you're going to kind of start to see what it looks like. It's already looking very nice just based on the headlines and the description we have, right? And as homework, I advise you guys before you start your campaign or while you're doing this to add some more fun to it, just pull up another tab and look at some of the other Google reviews or Google ads that people are running. These are franchises. So like, these obviously aren't local businesses, but if you go on your phone, you just keep refreshing or clicking to the next page, you'll see some of your competitors and their Google ads are going to be trash compared to what you guys are making over here. I guarantee it. So just a little confidence boost for you guys, but we're going to come to site links now. And then let's do this. Okay. So site links, you're going to see what this looks like in a second. A lot of people get confused on this, but scroll down here. I'm just going to delete these for a second. So basically, we're going to have a unique URL for each section of your funnel or landing page that we want to send traffic to. So let me show you what I mean. We have Nick's funnel pulled up right here, right? This first part of the funnel, this is called the hero. Most of you guys probably, especially if you're having Logan's template, the first call to action button right here is claim your free cleaning voucher. So that could be one of your site links. You could have book a clean, or you could change this for like claim your free voucher, right? Either of those would work. And then if we think about other parts of the landing page that might be useful for people, actually, I'm going to shut up for a second and I'm going to call on Nick once again. Sorry, man, you're on the spotlight.
Dude, you're fine.
What other sections of a landing page do you think a potential customer might find valuable before they make that purchasing decision?
Nice. I have a section on there with reviews.
Yep, absolutely.
And I have and then I have a section on there. Oh, you already have it out. Yeah, those.
Nick's like, I already read the list. He's like, maybe reviews, right? Oh yeah, it's on the list already.
I don't have frequently asked questions, but we can make something up. So
All right, cool. Yeah. So one of them is just your call to action, reviews, totally. And basically how this works is, let me go into your build your funnel really quick. And if you guys are using ClickFunnels or something else, the process should be fairly simple. This is probably the most technical part of the lesson, but you basically want to manage your sections, and you're going to want to get a unique URL for whichever section you're sending traffic to. You can't, for your site links, I wish you could do this. You can't just put your landing page URL for all of them because it doesn't allow duplicates. So the workaround to this is, first of all, I'm just going to copy and paste your landing page URL and paste that in here. One more. Awesome. And then now we're going to go back to the section manage, and we're going to get the unique URLs for this. So the first section right here, to claim the free voucher, we're going to come to advanced, and then right here, it's this little code that we're going to copy and paste, and then just paste that at the end over there. So another one I recommend is like the next one is our 3-step process. Let me look at your funnel and see if that would make sense.
let's see what we got on here.
Yeah. So I don't see like a 3-step process, but that's fine. We could probably just either swap that out for either like our services. Maybe even this why hire us. It's just like some little trust badges, or why home cleaning. Actually, you know what? If I had to pick between both of these, I would suggest that we choose this one. Why do you think that might be?
Because I called out the avatar.
Yes, that's one reason. Anybody else, feel free to unmute yourself. If we had to choose between this section, why hire us, versus this section, why home cleaning, why would we prefer to choose this one?
Is a clear call to action.
Bingo. We got this button to claim the voucher again, right? So we're going to go with that one. Let's see. Where was it? Oh, here we go. There we go. Copy and paste that again. And then now we're just going to swap this for why hire us. Right. Customer reviews. I think you do have. Yeah, perfect. So that will be a section, the customer reviews.
And a call to action, man. Good.
Yeah, look at you. You're already 2 steps ahead. All right. And then one more. We don't have frequently asked questions, but this could also work just like a contact us type of thing, right? And, you will have a certain percentage of traffic that will scroll through all these very shiny green buttons and not click it. But as soon as they see your number, they'll call you right away. So this can still be valuable, directing people to your contact details. So let's get that. All right. And then just do this. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go back to our Google Ads and actually plug and play with this stuff. So the first one, the call to action, that's what we're going to put as the site link text, claim your free voucher. And then at the bottom, you're going to have like these little descriptions, which I recommend you fill out because we're just trying to add as much real estate, take up as much real estate as possible. So let's add those there. And then we can just copy and paste this whole URL. And then boom, we have our first site link. Next, we're going to do the same thing for why hire us. Wondering how we work. Here's what to expect. All right. And then same thing with the next one. So you guys that I called on before that have ran Google ads or are currently running them, did you know about this? Have you done this on your ads or no? Yeah, most people either are not aware or just like didn't know that you could do this or are too lazy to do it. Whatever the case is, though, this is really what's going to separate you with, 98% of the other advertisers. All right. So once you're done, you're going to hit create, save, and then boom. Now, when we take a look at our sample of our ad, now look at this. We have a whole nother section, these little buttons that people could click on, where we're trying to take up as much of this screen space as possible. But it doesn't end there. We got more stuff that we can do. So now we're going to come to call outs. And then this is where you guys can, what I would recommend is just adding like your unique selling propositions here, basically. So if we come back to this checklist, it's basically right like your bragging rights. So 200% satisfaction promise, or 100% guarantee. Like people like to do that. So that could be one. Children and pet friendly. I'm assuming your company is, Nick.
We try. Yeah.
Hopefully not too many, injured pets on the job.
No, haven't been squashed yet.
English speaking staff. You could also change this for like vetted cleaners or whatever, 5-star rated. And you'll notice like a lot of the stuff that we're putting in this ad overlaps, right? Like we had 5-star rated in our description, possibly in our headlines, but that's okay. Redundancy, if they're adding to people's buyer intent with your company, it's totally fine. And I would even argue that it's probably valuable to have some repeating themes, because a lot of people are just going to quickly browse through this and they might not even see that repetition anyway. All right, so we added that. Now, when we click on more asset types, this is where we can do some really cool stuff, especially with that cleaning voucher. So a lot of people don't know this. Promotions. Watch this. So if you think Facebook is just for running promotions, think again. What you can do is you can actually pair certain offers based on whatever holidays or season is coming up. So what's the nearest holiday we have? Halloween, right? So if we click on Halloween, we can add basically up to a monetary discount, percent discount, or just like flat out, percent discounts. Unfortunately, you are stuck within these, you're kind of confined to picking one of these options, meaning maybe you don't have like a percentage off or a number, a certain dollar amount off. But I already thought of something that we can do, which is if we come to your funnel, this is for like a 50. How do you run your voucher, Nick?
Yeah, I do $65 off.
Okay, perfect. So
that works perfectly.
Absolutely. So we got 65 off for Halloween. And then this is just when you can put like deep cleaning, or if you do it for like standard cleaning, you could put standard cleaning, or you could put like new clients. So you could play around with this.
Yeah.
That actually sounds a little weird. Sounds like you're purchasing clients, but you get the point, right?
So the first time customer gets it, whether it's deep clean, basic clean, or a la carte.
Awesome. So let's just put house cleaning, keep it pretty broad. All right. And then for the URL, you could put one of those site link extensions, or you could just put your regular landing page there. Either works. And then to add some scarcity, you could put the end date October 31st. And then it's not showing right now, but there will be like a small text under here that says offer ends, October 31st, just to add a little bit of urgency. So this is really cool. Like a lot of people don't know you can do this, and just make sure like after Halloween, you come in here and update this. And this is an evergreen offer for you, this cleaning voucher. So guess what? When November 1st comes, now we can just change this to Oh, they don't have Thanksgiving? That's surprising. Whatever. You could just change it to like winter sale after Halloween passes and then just run this year round, just change to the nearest holiday. So cool. So that is a promotion. Prices, this probably, you guys can do this if you want. If you have like, if you guys have your business model following like a tiered package type of thing, I think for a lot of you, that's probably not going to matter too much. This is more so for like e-commerce, especially, but that's what prices means. Structured snippets, you guys can definitely fill this out. And what I would recommend for structured snippets is this is going to be industry dependent. So what makes most sense for you guys is probably service catalog. And then again, we have this on our checklist. So you can just put all of the cleaning services that you provide. So standard cleaning, deep cleaning, move in, move out. You do that, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Great. And then,
Yes, we do that too.
okay. Cool. Yeah, as long as it's within 25 characters, it's free game. And then look at that. We already have like, I mean, this is looking pretty legit. Right. And by the way, too, every someone who sees your ad, it's not going to look identical for every person. Everyone, meaning you, your friends, and their mother could all technically pull up your ad right now, and it's going to look slightly different on each person's screen. That's because Google's constantly like recycling through different views, different headline variations. Maybe one person sees site links on mobile, but then they don't see it on desktop, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of how that works. And then that's pretty much it in terms of these extensions. Now, since this is our first campaign, Nick, you actually don't have the option to do this right now. But something I'd advise for all of you guys is to add photos to your ads. And you'll see a section on the left when you're setting up your campaign. If your account has some spending behind it, you'll probably just see it right here. But I do recommend that you guys add photos to your ads as well, because it will actually show like a little square right below these headlines. And again, it's taking up real estate. We can show people before and after pictures, or you can add photos of like your team. Highly recommend that you do that. That will dramatically help your click-through rates. All right. So that is pretty much that for set for the ad. So we're going to hit next. Oh man, Google's very generous with, they're very ambitious for what they want you to spend per day.
I want to go freaking bankrupt.
Yeah. I don't know why they suggested that for you, Nick, but
Do it.
Okay.
Everyone on here wants to see it happen. Just hit play. Let's just see what happens. Let's
Sorry,
just
Nick.
see what happens.
you're going to go 900 in the hole right away. So I hope you're ready.
Dude, that better freaking bring some leads.
All right. Awesome. And then once you do that,
It's called commitment, Nick.
I'm like nervous for you, just pressing publish.
Isn't the name of the webinar set up $1 million Google
Yeah.
ads?
That's the only
How
way
are
we're gonna do
you
it,
gonna
bro.
get to $1 million? Yeah.
Brian's
It's a great
right.
point.
Those are rookie numbers, $900 a day.
It's cheap, man.
Yeah.
You
I'll
got it.
actually,
It's 27,000 a month. So 27 if you made times that by 2. So I mean, yeah, you made 54 grand just on new ads. Like that's how you get to $1 million, bro.
I mean, my ROAS right now is like 20 to 1, so F it. Like $1 million in a month.
yeah.
Seriously. 27,000.
Nick, after this lesson, do you plan on keeping the Google ads running?
Yeah, I want to make sure like everything's hooked up properly, and I want to get it zapped and everything, and then.
Only if it's at
Yeah.
$900 a day.
But
Well, I'll tell you what.
I was expecting to just like have you do it, and then when I'm ready, I can just press play.
Yep. So that's what I did. This is what you guys can do when you come under your account, under campaigns, and then this little button under here, you could click the drop down and then just make sure it's on enable whenever you're ready. But I paused it for now. All right. So if you refer back to our keywords, we made one for this phrase match for generic terms, right? We're going to do the same exact thing for exact match. Don't worry. We can do this in a fraction of the time that we just did, because since we already made this ad group, now what we're going to do is we're going to select it, copy. We're going to paste this in here. Yep. Select your campaign, hit done. Leave that unchecked. It's fine. Hit paste. While that's pasting, let me look into the chat. Mike said, don't forget to change the budgets. Oh no, he's keeping the budget.
I'm keeping, guys. I'm going to be a case study.
Awesome. Keep looking through the chat. Where do we get the Excel sheet? Yeah, Musa, I'm gonna share these resources with you in the Facebook group after this lesson.
So Evan, while we're waiting on this, there's a question that was way up in the beginning, and I think it just is kind of like it's a general question from a standpoint of like AI, but how will AI affect Google Ads going forward? Like in what ways will AI affect Google Ads?
Yeah, man. I'm not positive. I think Google and other platforms is definitely moving in that direction of trying to make this stuff as hands off as possible, especially for like people that don't really know what they're doing. That's kind of the move. And you've probably already noticed this with Facebook, is they're taking away a lot of like, different targeting options, placement options, and trying to make it as automated as possible. So you have like limited control. And I guess that's good for someone who, like I said, knows zero about this stuff. They just want something up and running. But I don't know, a couple of years from now, maybe we can't even create our own headlines, right? Maybe we can't even bid on certain keywords, but we just got to make the best with what we have right now. And this is kind of what I'd recommend all you guys follow. All right. So we just did the phrase generic. Now we're going to do the same thing, but the exact match generic. If you guys remember, that's what the brackets are around. All right, we're going to click on our ad group that we just copied, select all these keywords, remove them, come back to our list, and then we're going to copy everything on this right column up until the end of the black. So in here, add keywords, and now we got our exact match. So let's hit save. Boom. And we don't have to go in and change and create the headlines because we already copied and pasted that from the previous ad group. So watch, if I were to go to ads, we're under our exact match, right? And if I want to go edit this, you'll see that all the headlines and all the descriptions were exactly what we created before, right? So the heavy lifting is done essentially. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to copy and paste that same ad group. Select the campaign, hit paste. Except this time, now we're going to move on to the specialty cleaning services. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot, Nick. I forgot to change New Jersey for your freaking city. Let's do that before I forget. All right, so you guys are going to have access to the sheet where it says New Jersey and NJ. Make sure you change this for your appropriate city or state that you're targeting. So if you hold Shift Command H, you could pull up this window, and then we're going to type in New Jersey, and then replace that with Idaho. Replace all, done. All right. And then the same thing for the space NJ. Let's do that. The abbreviation for Idaho is ID, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's we're gonna have to go back and just make some quick edits. I wonder if
All
anybody.
right, sorry, bro. That's my bad. I totally saw you do that. I didn't know if it was a big deal or not.
You're like, oh, maybe he thinks I service NJ too. No, it's all good. All right, cool. Cool. So we got that for the phrase generic. Let's make sure we do that for exact generic too. And by the way, guys, I know I'm moving through this kind of fast. Some of you, like, this interface might be, the Google Ads interface is not very intuitive. So if this looks like very confusing to you, don't worry. It even still confuses me to this day. You know, go through this lesson at your own pace, of course. All right, cool. So we got our generic terms. Now we're going to do the same thing for the specialties. So we got the phrase, except now we're going to change this to our specialty terms. All right, so get all these keywords, select all. We're going to remove those. Starting with this. Okay, cool. And now, since we just pasted in the specialty terms, we actually are going to add a couple things on this ad before we duplicate it for our exact match, just to make it a little bit easier. But let's come back to, we're going to come to ads. You can always look at the top hand bar to make sure you have the right ad group selected. We're going to click this pencil icon to make some edits. All right. And since we're dealing with these keywords now, like you know, post-construction, Airbnb cleaning, move in, move outs, think about your ad too. And who's typically searching for these types of terms? It might be someone who just moved out of their house. It might be a realtor, a property manager, an office manager, something like that. So the language in our ads is going to be somewhat different. There's going to be certain things that might apply more to, let's say, a realtor than a particular homeowner. Can anyone give me some examples of, you know, what are some headlines that might apply more so to like a property manager or a realtor? Either drop it in the chat or maybe, you know, raise your hand. Show ready home cleaning. Nice. Yeah, I like that. That could be its own headline. Make ready. Cool. No hassle Airbnb cleaning. Yep. So here's something that could apply for pretty much all of the above. Like quick turnarounds, cleanings, right? You could even have a specific headline that specifically calls out, I mean, fall in love with your home. See, this one's tough because if someone just moved into their house, like this is very applicable to that person. But if it's a realtor or even a property manager, you know, I don't know, that might not make most sense. But if you have stuff that's based around convenience, you know, quick turnaround, you know, make ready, show ready, listings, things like that. Those are just some different things that you could play around with. And then same thing for the description, right? Let me see. So highly vetted house cleaners. So like all of these can work, but you can even change this to something like, you know, find out why realtors Idaho realtors and property managers, we're just trying to throw in as many of these keywords as possible. Property managers love using our house, love using our house cleaning service, or even something like trust us for their last minute cleanings, right? So that's going to be probably pretty applicable to someone who's searching for these like end of tenancy cleaning or Airbnb cleaning terms, right? And then going back to like the site links that we created, the 65 off house cleaning, like that should be fine. You could probably keep everything else the same, to be honest. The call outs and everything. I don't think you have to change any of that, but it's something that you can definitely play around with. So let's just save that. And then we got one more duplication to make in the ad groups. So we just did the phrase match specialty. So what is our last one going to be, Nick? Pop quiz.
I don't know. The generic, I don't know. Broad.
Nope. We did we did the phrase match. So the last one is going to be
exact match.
Exact match. Yep. Paste that in there. Mike said broad. No, Michael, never go broad. That's the one thing from this whole lesson is never bid on broad match. And Google will actually try and get you to. And it's just so that you can spend more money, like burn through your money essentially. They'll swear to you like, hey, you'll get more clicks, but avoid it. Yes, Christian said negative keywords. That is exactly what we're going to do next. As soon as the stun loads. Awesome. Cool. So let me just name this before I forget. Exact specialty. Select all these. Okay, cool. So let's copy and paste this. Awesome. Cool, guys. So we essentially did all the hard work right now. Now, to Christian's point, what we just did is we selected specific keywords that we want our ads to come up, right? So like when people are searching house cleaning, housekeeping, blah, blah, blah. Most of the searches you guys are going to get clicks for are, I don't want to say most, but a lot of the clicks that you guys are going to get are not from these terms, but they're actually going to be from some, weird stuff or stuff that you don't want to appear for. So even though we have like things in quotations and brackets, it's never 100% accurate. Your ad could still potentially appear for carpet cleaning or someone who's looking for like commercial cleaning, right? Because if you're bidding on, what the hell? If you're bidding on a house cleaning, you don't want like, something like commercial cleaning is still close enough, right, to Google's eyes. So what we're going to do is add negative keywords. And these are basically specific terms where we're telling Google, hey, if anybody searches for something that has this in the name, I don't want the ad to appear for that, right? So if someone has like mops, sponges, or even different competitors' names like Dazzling Cleaning, Molly Maid, right? We want to basically add these as negative keywords so that our ad will never pop up if any of these are within someone's search term. So I already have a whole list right here. And this list will grow over time. As you guys run your campaign, you're going to there, we can't cover everything in this lesson about how to like read your data and everything, just because like this campaign hasn't been running and for time's sake. But as you guys are running your ads, you're going to see which search terms people are searching for and what your ad is appearing for. And your negative keyword list is just going to build and build over time. But this is certainly a great place to start to immediately start saving you guys some money on junk clicks. So we're going to come to negative keywords under the settings over here. Click add negative keywords. And actually, sorry, let's go back to, I'm going to come back to the home screen. And then on the left here, where it says settings and then account settings, I'm going to add the keywords here, negative keywords, click this plus button, and then boom. Now you'll notice that a lot of these, I spelled vacuum wrong. A lot of these negative keywords, or all of them rather, have quotations around them. Why do you think that might be instead of keeping these broad? Let's see. Anybody have any input on that, either in the chats or it will take out good leads? Yeah, potentially, but why? What specifically would let's see, Logan, how about you? More than just that word. You want to show up if someone's looking for looks. Yeah, so you guys kind of brushed on it.
What did you say the question, Evan? What was the question?
So I was asking the group, why would we specifically want these negative keywords in quotations versus if they were all bare, like broad match?
Okay, I'm trying to remember. I know you told me this. So that way, if it type in like, so it's not just mops, but if it's like mops near me or mops, like when there's more words than just that, but we're highlighting just these words, or is it the other way around? Is it if they're just doing mops?
Yeah, so you're correct about that, but really, the reason why we want to keep everything in quotations is because if it was broad, remember what I said about broad, where Google can basically find any related search term and pair that search term with the keyword. So, for example, if we had like Molly Maid as a broad match negative keyword, well, still like maid is in there, and maybe that could negate our search results for maid service, which we're bidding on. So I know it's a little confusing, but basically just keep these in quotations and you guys will be good for like an added layer of protection. So we're going to save that. Don't forget the negative keywords. This is probably one of the most underrated things. A lot of people miss out on this and are wasting a lot of money on clicks. And essentially how you would know about this is once your campaign is running, and we can do a future lesson on this, but if you guys come into keywords and then search terms, this is where you would see a list of basically all of the terms that people are searching for in your area and what your ad is actually appearing and getting clicks for. And then that's when you can start adding stuff to your negative keywords and whatnot. But that is basically how you guys set up the campaign, the negative keywords. And then the one last thing we're going to do is set up the conversion tracking. So if you guys come up to here in tools and settings, into conversions, new conversion action, click on websites. We could just use this as a placeholder. You just have to put in a website, even if it's not the one that you want to send traffic to. And then I prefer to do this manually with the code. So you're going to click on this, add a conversion action manually. Select submit lead form. You can name this whatever. So I'll just name this like, submit lead form. This asks if you want to tie a specific value to what Google recognizes as a lead, basically. And you guys probably won't need to do that because every lead is, worth something different. You could leave all the other settings as is, press done. All right. And then now Okay, cool. Yeah. And then once you do that, you're going to hit green continue. And then now is when we're actually going to get the code from Google. So the first thing, this Google tag code, you're going to click the setup button. Don't worry, it's actually pretty simple. And they're going to spit you out a code that you guys can paste onto your funnel. So this would apply to like all the pages on your funnel, like your landing page and your thank you page, right? So if let me come here. If you guys are using high level, you'll recognize this. You're going to come to your funnel, hit settings, and then it's going to come here into the head tracking code. So we'll hit save. All right. So we got that. And then we're going to do one more event snippet. And then this one is actually going to be on the thank you page. So anytime that this loads, it's being recognized as a lead, which it will be this page. So we'll come into here. Oops, tracking code. Yep, paste that in there. I can already tell in some of you guys' eyes, this is bringing back like nightmare flashbacks to the Facebook conversion stuff. People hate this. A lot of people hate this, but you set it up once the proper way, and then hopefully don't have to touch it again. All right, and then you guys might be familiar with this Chrome extension called the Facebook Pixel Helper. Actually, Google has one called the Google Tag Assistant Legacy. I don't know why it's called that, but it's basically the same thing. So what we can do actually is I'm going to copy and paste the landing page link to Nick's funnel and the thank you page. And oh, that's not good. Nick, have you ever gotten this message for your funnel before? Just like your connection is not private.
Uh-oh. No.
Yeah, it might be what do you use for your domain registrar? Oh, now it's good.
Thank goodness. Whew.
Yeah, it's fine. We got it up now, so I wouldn't worry too much about it unless it keeps happening. But once you guys have this Chrome extension downloaded, you're going to hit enable. We'll do the same thing on this page, hit enable, and then just refresh your page. And then, oh, okay, there it is. So on the first one, you'll see these two things here. It will say global site tag, which is what we want. And then it'll say remarketing tab. And then on the thank you page, it should show 3. Okay, perfect. This one, conversion tracking. So we have it set up properly. So that's good. And this conversion action that we just set for leads that are landing on the thank you page. Right now it's saying inactive. It could take up to a couple hours before anything populates. So don't be alarmed if it says inactive. But yeah, that's pretty much how you set it up. And the reason why we set up the conversion tracking, just like we do on Facebook too, is because even though it is true, like what I was telling you guys last time, the native conversion reporting on Facebook and on Google is never 100% accurate, but it's still good to have it set up because at the very least, you're telling Google what you want to be registered as a conversion, and they can actually find and prioritize your ads in front of people that are more likely to become leads versus like junk clicks, right? So Google's a very smart platform. It knows the information about people based on like different actions they take and whatnot. So set this up the right way the first time, and you'll just have that peace of mind going forward. But yeah, guys, this is, I think that's pretty much it. We went through everything in the checklist of how to set up this campaign. Basically, I included the link to this keyword chart too. So you guys can come in here, make sure, don't forget to change, Idaho for your appropriate city or states that you're targeting. You're going to make 4 key ad groups to start off with. As you run these ad groups for, let's say, a couple of weeks, you'll start to see which ones are actually getting you conversions. you'll probably find that certain ad groups might be driving your budget way up for relatively few conversions. And maybe it makes sense to just pause those and focus on the ones that are, more cost effective. But yeah, that's essentially it. I'm going to stop sharing first screen and see if there's any questions.
Dude, that was amazing. Thank you so much for helping me set that up.
Yeah, my pleasure.
That was awesome.
The biggest problem right now, Evan, is that you have no more availability for calls. So I told people to save the link and then try again tomorrow. I think maybe their spots might open up tomorrow or not. I think you probably have your calendar set so many days. So
yes, I do have it blocked off for a certain amount of rolling days, but I'll tell you what, Logan tagged me in the Facebook group. If you guys want to just send me a DM through there, happy to chat with you guys and we can jam out about this stuff. In the meanwhile, I'll check my calendar and see if I can open that up for more days. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know.
Brain melting for sure. Like, oh man, I'm glad you know how to do this. Cause I'm just like, just do it, man. Just do it.
Yeah. I think, all of you guys should try Google Ads. I will say in some markets, it's very profitable. In other ones, it's not. You might be in a situation where even if you follow everything to a T, maybe for whatever reason, just the Facebook leads you're generating or your SEO or whatever is way more profitable. Like the ROI is better and Google Ads might not make sense for you. But we definitely have some situations too where other people, it's the opposite. They're getting leads for just as cheap, if not cheaper than they are on Facebook. And what's really nice about Google traffic is your ad is only coming up if someone is actually searching for these keywords. The main issue you find with Facebook ads is you're kind of coming in front of a large portion of people and just hoping something sticks. Now, obviously, if your offer's dialed in, your content's good, you can definitely get a good chunk of interested buyers, but it's a trade-off. Google leads are going to be more expensive, but more qualified, easier to convert. Facebook leads are going to be cheaper, but typically less qualified. They take more hand-holding.
Yeah. Me and you talked about this last time, Evan. I talked about it as being more of an asset that if you can figure it out, it's more set it and forget it than Facebook, where you always have to be updating creative, which is the videos and the pictures, headlines, offers, where if you can figure out Google, there's less tinkering.
Yep.
So
definitely. Let's see. I'll
hands raised.
Yeah, I'll just go down the list. Pat, if you want to unmute yourself and
hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Quick, I have like two little quick questions. So I was, for Go High Level, I was talking to support and they said I should be using a number pool for Google Ads. And how do you incorporate the number pools into like 4 different numbers?
Yeah, so that's basically in the conversion tracking setup. If you're gonna, there's like 3 different levels of call extensions that you could set up. So one would be like a call extension, which would be labeled as like account level details. There would be another one that's just like calls from ads. And then there's a third one, which I can't remember. But if you wanted to do that, you could set it up, have like 3 different numbers for each type of call extension. To be honest, though, I'd rather keep it as simple as possible for you guys, especially if you're just trying to get something set up, and just use the main number that you use for everything. And, you'll know, like, after you speak to that lead, if they say like, oh yeah, I found you on Google, like if that's a number that you're using specifically for the Google ads, you'll know it's coming from the Google ads.
Okay. And then I just had another one is it possible to do offline conversions where we track it on Google ads? So let's say if they make a purchase and then the attributions on a certain ad, will it actually, because I know you can set it up on Go High Level to push an actual offline conversion, but does it actually track it on Google, or does it actually register like, okay, these ads are having this many purchases?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think you can do on Google. I have actually never played around with offline conversions on Google. But I typically, what I recommend is same thing with Logan's policy, is always refer to your master sheet to kind of segment like all your different traffic sources and make sure that that's kind of like your North Star of where you're recording these conversions.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep, for sure. Good questions. Let's see. I see Maj, you got your hand up. How's it going?
Hey, Evan, I'm doing well. How you doing, man?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for this quality information. I learned like so much, and I think I learned so much so that I've been just spending thousands of dollars on the person that's running my Google ads. At least they made it sound like that, but it's Google Local Services. And thinking like we get leads, but from what you were telling me with this whole presentation that you've been doing, which is great, it's going to be more targeted, it seems like, and it's going to have more intention. So therefore, the leads are going to be more potent, so to speak, opposed to like a local service. A Google Local Service ad is just kind of generalized, and it's not as effective.
Yeah, well, I would say both definitely will get you very qualified buyers, but the one advantage you have with what I went over versus local services is there's a lot more information. When you're just looking at a list of Google Local Services, like for example, I'll share my screen again. The problem with something like this is what is there to separate all these businesses from each other? Yeah, maybe the amount of 5-star reviews they have, but there's really nothing else, right? Whereas with the Google ads that we just went over, now we have like a funnel that you could, sell these people to. You have like more information, certain headlines, certain unique selling propositions in your description. So I think you have more chances to actually sell yourself with a Google ad, basically.
Okay, got it. I'm definitely going
to. Let me ask a question, because I asked you, Evan, about LSA, and like you actually don't run LSA for people. And so is that like, so Maj is like, he has somebody running LSA for him who's basically paying them a fee to run LSA. Like, is that, to me, that doesn't make sense. Does that make sense to you somehow, or am I missing something?
No. So yeah, full transparency. The reason why we don't set up LSA for people is just because you really shouldn't need to pay someone to do it for you. That is really set it and forget it. I know within the platform, you can organize like your leads to see like, okay, who got booked, who's no longer interested. And I do recommend that you do that, or sure, like you can pay someone to do that for you, I guess. But other than that, there's really nothing to manage, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to set it and forget it then, in this regard, because it's definitely not worth it. But I was gonna ask you another question, but I can't remember it. But thanks for putting this on, man. And Logan, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the question. Let's see, we got was there one more, or are you good, Maj? You're good? Okay, cool. My man Rod, what's going on, Rod?
What's up, Evan? How you doing, man?
Good. Good to see you here.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate the class today. And I just wanted to give Evan a shout out. We've been working with Evan for almost 2 years now. And man, he's been great. We've been doing all types of marketing and ads, and they've been going well, even right now as we speak. So I just wanted to show you some love, say thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Rod. Good to hear from you and see you on this call for sure.
Yeah. Y'all got to tap in with Evan, man. Y'all got to tap in.
Thank you. Let's see. We got Samuel. How's it going, Sam?
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah,
not much. Good to see you.
First of all. And I guess my question is kind of back to the the previous guy, he was talking about LSA, but I know you're saying that, you know, the Google Ads works in certain areas it's not. And I know LSA is very much the same way. So I'm wondering if you've seen a correlation between, like, if LSA works in an area, will Google Ads generally work in that area? Or I know it's probably not a black and white answer.
Yeah, it's not. It would be hard for you to know. It would be easier for me as like the agency view to see if, like, for example, your LSA leads were, let's say, like $60 on average versus another market that's getting them for $30 on average. Like, that would be a good indicator that your Google Ads will probably also be a little bit more expensive. But yeah, there's no way to really tell. You would just have to run both and kind of keep track of your ROI on each.
Okay, cool. And then I guess the other question I have is, you know, about the specialty section of your keywords. Are you always grouping all of those specialty things together, or do you have people who are sometimes like niching down to like very specific specialty things?
Yeah. So typically how it goes is over time, some people will add more keywords to their ad groups. Typically we actually reduce ours, and we might find that there's, let's say, like move in, move out is getting like way more click-through rates and conversions versus some of the other terms. And yes, it might make sense to dumb down your ad group to just focus on like maybe a couple keywords that are getting those clicks. And you can then later craft those ads to be very specific to like just move in, move outs, like make them very, very niched, for example. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, typically I recommend just including a bunch of them at first and narrowing down over time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it. Let's see. We got Christian. What's up, Christian?
Hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you doing this, Evan.
Sure.
So yeah, just had
Glad
a
to
quick
have you.
question. You kind of touched on it for the negative keywords. So we're running ads in Miami, and we're getting a lot of people that are looking for jobs. They just, obviously our ads, they don't say hiring or anything like that, but people just keep on. Yeah. Is there anything, or maybe negative keywords to use, or maybe there's like no way around it, or?
Yeah, it's a pain. We've definitely seen this in some markets too. So here's one thing you can do once your campaign's running. If you go and click on keywords and then search terms, that's where you'll actually be able to see which phrases, which search terms people are searching for, and thus having your ads appear and get clicks on. And you might find that there's specific phrases that people are always searching for that yield maybe these people looking for jobs. So to give you an example, we found that like house cleaning in Espanol was one that was getting a lot of clicks and people looking for jobs. So once you see that, you can add it as a negative keyword, and that could, potentially reduce that a little bit. But other than that, it's tough. Sometimes people will just search like house cleaning as if they were a buyer and then opt in through your funnel and look for work. There's really, not much you can do. It's unfortunate, but
yeah,
you just got to keep moving.
I gotcha. I appreciate it. And thank you, Logan, for setting this up. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Cool. Let's see. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Dude, that was awesome, man. That was great. People, chat was blowing up. People were definitely like you could just see that their eyes were just like, oh my gosh, this is outside of what I was expecting, which I think is good, because sometimes you just have to know how, like, the reality of things. Sometimes if you're like, okay, I can do this myself, and then sometimes like, and you still can, like, that's the whole point of doing this, is that you can go through it step by step. And I think that's what we talked about last time, is that this recording will be in the masterclass. Everyone will have access to this, and you definitely can go step by step and go slow, pause, do, play, pause, do, right? Lots of that. or you could just hang out with Evan, right? And I dropped the link down there. Evan will post this. We'll post some of the things that we saw tonight in the Facebook group, and so you guys can comment on that. Make sure you get some love to people who are not on here, so they go watch the recording, and so they get value from this, whether they choose to do it themselves or they want to reach out to Evan as well. But then, if you guys, if there's not updated availability on the link, then Evan, they can DM you, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. Yeah, dude. So seriously, thank you for acquiring this information, and then be willing to share it with everybody on here. And you and I have done quite a few sessions now, and you've been very open about sharing the stuff that you know. And it obviously it didn't come natural. It wasn't easy. And it's also just lots of reps, and that's also the benefit of somebody who does it all day, every day. Of this is what he does all day. So, well, for us, for everybody else in here, it's like it's brain melting. You get excited about it, and because you know what to do, right? which is cool. So, thank you. For again, it's 10 o'clock your time for showing up to these, and super appreciate it. Nick, I don't know if Nick White's still on here, but Nick, oh yeah, you are. Nick White, thank you for being a leader and being open and always willing to just like be down for things like these. So appreciate you, my dude. And
my pleasure. I appreciate you guys. Like, that was freaking fun. Thank you.
And that shirt is really good.
Absolutely.
Really good. Yeah. When you wear a Lulu, it's hard not to look jacked. It's actually just the shirt. If people just realize that they could just like look jacked if they bought a Lulu shirt, it's so much easier than going to the gym. Like,
it's just
it's overrated. Cool. We'll go give some love, you guys, to everyone in the chat, or excuse me, in the Facebook group. Let everybody know about this training so that they can go watch the replay. It'll be in the masterclass. James will get it in there for us. And yeah, if you guys found value from this, maybe we'll do it again. So put it in the chat or put it in the Facebook group if you guys got value. And if you guys did, then we'll set something up. And again, as long as Evan gets value from this, you guys get value from this. Like, I think it's a win-win. So Evan, thank you so much, my friend.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks for having me on again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this and are, ready to start launching your campaigns. I'm sure we'll do another lesson sometime soon, more so around optimizing and reporting on the data. That's like a whole nother animal, but yeah, thanks again for setting this up.
Awesome. All right, guys, happy Wednesday. Yeah. Hope you guys are excited for 2 weeks. We got a shark coming in to the community, and then next week we actually have a cool training too, which I'll be sharing in the Facebook group later this week. So happy Wednesday night, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your night and the rest of your week. Bye.
Cool. Later, guys.